down in my heart to stay. I'm very happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Christ deep in my heart. I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Christ so deep in my heart.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to all of us here and everyone else who is out there in cyberspace. We welcome you warmly to our hearts this morning, the second Sunday of January in the year 2022. What a wonderful time to be alive and well and happy. So, as we do in all things, we acknowledge together the power and the presence that is God, the living Spirit Almighty, that indestructible cause, that which has pulled us together this morning to celebrate itself and our oneness with it. And so we know that this Sunday morning service, an event in the mind of God now being made manifest, is a wonderful, spiritually charged event, one in which we surrender to that power and that presence. We prepare to listen. We prepare to participate in every way, in word and in song. And we know that as we immerse ourselves in this event, transformation takes place. Our ears, our eyes, our spiritual eyes, and our hearts open to the truth that sets us free. And we emerge from this event ready, willing, and able to express that which we are, to express and live from that place of oneness with us. And so we simply give thanks this morning for this wonderful opportunity to be here, to be in this temple, to be together, to celebrate this moment. As I release this word to the Lord that transforms every word into the experience of each and every one of us. We give thanks now that all this is so.
And so it certainly is.
I share with you this morning some words from the December 2021 Science of Mind magazine. And it's the reading from, actually, December 9. And it's titled, The Voice of Peace. The epigraph. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And then quoting, and those words are the words of Jimi Hendrix. And then quoting from the Science of Mind textbook, this original life is infinite. It is good. It is filled with peace. It is of the essence of purity. It is the ultimate of intelligence. It is power. It is law. It is life. It is in us. And here goes, peace. Everybody wants it, and few can agree on it. It's difficult to agree on a process And peace is a process rather than a thing. Likewise, life is a process rather than a thing. So the question becomes how to translate the process of peace into the conditions of life. Peace is an inside process that brings thoughts of safety, happiness, and fulfillment, while life's process brings the cacophony of existence to the fore. You can see the conundrum. As individuals, we can have peace for a time, but is there a way to stuff the pillow of life's cacophonies into the pillowcase of peace? Life's a huge pillow, and peace can be a big enough pillowcase if I and others practice making it big enough. Ultimately, peace is not static, not a destination, or something to be lived in stillness. Peace is the discovery of the good inside me and the spiritual practice of living from and as that good. Sometimes peace requires me to speak when I really don't want to. And conversely, most of the time, it requires me to be quiet. The peace I live is seeking a world that expands justly, happily, and gives room for all people to live justly and happily. It's a tall order. However, the first requirement is for me to experience peace, to live it, to taste it, to know it. Otherwise, how can I recognize it when it happens? And the question it leaves for us is to affirm, what would peace do? What would peace do? And so I now ask you, as you contemplate peace, to join in the praise song, I am the radiant light of God. You may stand, please. I am the radiant life of God. I am the radiant life of God. I am the health of God, strength of God, vitality, energy, fame of God, light of God. I am the wisdom power of God. I am the wonderful love of God. I am the peace of God, the joy of God, serenity, harmony, rhythm of God. I am the wonderful love of God. I am the wisdom and power of God. I am the wisdom and power of God. I am the light of God, success of God, prosperity, happiness, might of God. I am the wisdom and power of God. I am the radiant wealth of God. I am the radiant wealth of God. I am the wealth of God expressed. I am the wealth giving itself. I am the radiant wealth of God. I am. And from that rousing song, I invite you to stand and let us repeat the prayer of our center. And as you do so, contemplate each word, each phrase. The prayer of our center.
Temple of Light,
Center for Spiritual Living. is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the path of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and glory forever, and so it is. Please be seated. I shall now light the candle. And so I light this candle for the youth of our world, and that includes all of us here. And you say with me, we love you, we appreciate you, we see you as shining lights onto your world. God is blessing you now. And so it is. And now, let us shine our light in the singing of our Temple of Light mission song.
The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one spirit on a mission.
To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper,
To love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day.
the temple of light, the temple of light,
The temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one is spirit on a mission.
to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate
Anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day.
And every time we sing it, I think what a wonderful, beautiful legacy. What a glorious memory you have of our dear Mr. Lee. So now, it's time for the announcements for this morning. And this is Sunday, January 9. And I welcome all our first-time visitors worshiping with us on this beautiful Sunday morning, whether you're here in the sanctuary or online. We welcome you to our hearts and to our beautiful Temple of Light Center for spiritual living. We trust you will come again and again to share your consciousness with us. As you know, live streaming continues every Sunday at 9 and on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And a recording is also available later on YouTube. This morning, we have a discovery session in which Reverend John and Reverend Michael will at 10:30 a.m. lead the discussion on the topic, what's new for you in 2022? Our schedule for the week, tomorrow morning now, remember, quiet moments in the garden. Join Reverend John Scott on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. He's added two new Wednesday and Friday to the timetable at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will enjoy a refreshing and insightful early morning start to your day. On Tuesday evening at 6 on Facebook and Zoom, on the Facebook and Zoom platforms, our presenter this week is Practitioner Jennifer Livingston for the Spiritual Enrichment Service. Sorry? The link is sent out from there is a link that you will find in your email. It's sent out on our mailing list. And then on Wednesday, Spiritual Prosperity Adventure. This begins this Wednesday, January 12 at 6:30 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. And if you have had a challenge registering online, please let the office know so we can assist you. Prayer support. We continue to respond with prayer to the challenges of this time. A practitioner is available to pray with you immediately following the service every Sunday. And this Sunday, practitioner Carol Campbell is on duty, and the number to call is 876-289-0907. You may also speak with a minister from Monday to Friday from between the hours of 8 a.m. and 12 midnight by calling 876-289-0907. For donations, tithes, and offerings, if you feel moved to support our ministry, kindly visit our donate page at templeoflightcsl.org, which has our banking details. Thank you for your generosity and for helping us to be a beacon of light in the world. This concludes our announcement. And so I'm now going to ask you to kindly join us in the singing of our first hymn, Eternal Life is Here, the words of which are in the program on the page 3, or if you're in the sanctuary, or on the screen if you're watching online.
Eternal life is here, sustaining power, and radiant light to me through every hour. Eternal
Please be seated. And so now, I hand over to our Reverend Sonia Davidson, our speaker this morning, who has prepared for you words that will inspire, touch, and uplift us all. Please open your hearts and your ears to listen and understand. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I just want to thank Carol for just setting the stage for our service. Isn't this been a most wonderful, calm, serene presence? And I thank her for it. And I know would like to welcome all of us who are here in the sanctuary and those who are on the World Wide Web. It's a lovely day, not as sunny as usual, pretty cool, complementing the very cool nights that we have been having in our wonderful jam down. Now, friends, I have put as the topic, the title of my talk, the greatest love of all. Something I have observed in my own life and in all the various permutations and combinations of relationships is that at the center of all successful relationships is a very strong sense of self. We can take it further, a love of self. And when two parties have that, it's even better. But for sure, if one has it, they can grow together. And when I say relationships, I'm talking about any encounter of human to human. What about when you're traveling on the road and up comes someone to wipe your, uninvited to wipe your windscreen? That's a relationship. And if we're feeling particularly good about ourselves, then the encounter does not have to be one of irritation. What about in school, when the teacher, in frustration, might say something that's a negative or a put down? A child who is growing up feeling good about themselves just allows that to brush past them, no problem. So I start this morning with a quote that was shared on the internet by Pauline Wilson, one of our congregants. And it goes like this. It's anonymous. Everything changes when you begin to love yourself. You no longer send out energy of desperation and need. You become a powerful source within yourself that attracts better. It is equally true that people who have a strong sense of self-esteem seek to speak the truth of others, always. Truth comes from a consciousness of love and light. It is a recognition of the self with a capital S, the one self that lies within each and every one, longing to reveal itself through human experience of feelings, reactions, and actions. It is seeking to connect with another. For this longing is the individual soul intuitively seeking to experience God in the object of affection. So that is the direction of my thoughts and thinking this morning. My thoughts are on love, love of self. All the things which we could say would make for happiness all the ways in which we relate to others is derived from an awareness of a love of self. The self being the power and presence of God, the spark of divinity, that which is beyond name, that which is the essence of everything we are and strive to be, the beloved, the Christ, known by many names, but the one. It is always the one. So to grow in our relationship with the present, we must practice the presence. We must take time out to just be, to allow. To fall in love with the self requires time apart from preoccupation with the various domains of life. It requires intention to just be, to get to know the self, to allow it to reveal the self to itself as you, as me, to fall in love with the self. Remember the popular song, which has a line, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all? What if we rephrase it to state, learning to love the self is the greatest love of all? Frank Richelieu, one of our New Thought luminaries, in his book, The Art of Being Yourself, says it this way: we must learn to love ourselves. He says we must learn to love what we are doing. We must learn to love where we are in life. If we do, we will be carried to great heights of consciousness. He continues, the love to which I am referring cannot be forced. It cannot be manufactured or pretended. It is not sentimental. It is an outpouring of goodwill and reverence for life. It radiates to the heart of all people and all things. And in continuing, I want to share yet another perspective on the same sentiment. And this is from one of my favorite authors now, the mystic, Joel Goldsmith. He says, you are self-complete through God. You are not and never will be complete because of any effort you have ever made toward being good or being spiritual. Your completeness is in God. This is in accordance with the teaching of the Master Jesus. And he gives us some quotes of Jesus to confirm what he has said. It goes like this: I can of myself do nothing. The Father that dwells in me, he does the works. The other, why callest me good? There is none good, but that is God. In other words, the power of Jesus, he continues, was really the power of the Christ made evident through Jesus. Remember that in and of ourselves, we are nothing except that God be the reality of our beings. Christ is our true identity, and in the Christ, we are fulfilled in all completeness. We are complete because of what we are. God the infinite, represented in us as the Christ. So let us pause for a moment, take a breath, and affirm. And I will read it first. I see the beauty and worth of my true being. I am complete. I am enough. I'm going to say it. I see the beauty and worth of my true being. I see the beauty and worth of my true being. I am complete. I am complete. I am enough. I am enough. Now, a question was posed about 3 years ago on the internet for general comment. And one particularly outstanding comment was shared by a Denny Moore, who lived in London, Northeast. And it goes like this: happiness is a mindset as well as a state of being. Only an individual can find happiness, and it is achieved by a person accepting oneself and one's life. I learned a long time ago that no other person can make me happy. I'm not going to waste my life on I'll be happy when, I'll be happy if, I have this. Nah. I found that I am happy when I appreciate the simple things, the people in my life, beautiful weather, ice cream, comfortable in my own skin. Once I learned these things and more, life became much more enjoyable. And I found I am happy now, right now. That is definitely a description of someone who is comfortable in their skin. Now, I had the opportunity, unplanned initially, and after planning, it was the way I chose to spend 5 days in retreat during the holidays. Personal retreat. Not retreating with a group, retreating by myself. And it was the first time I could recall in over 30 years that I have afforded myself that privilege. So it was during this retreat by myself in a very, not isolated place, a very, very quiet place in St. Anne, very near to where I grew up. No traffic was heard, only the sound of nature, all the sounds of nature. And around me was the lushness and the greenness. And it was during that retreat that I sunk deeper and deeper into my inner world. The deeper I went, the more I appreciated the outer. I began to notice everything in a different way. Yes, I realized after a while when I looked through the window, there was this beautiful view of the sea, which I had to take 2 days before I even ventured to look out and see that I could see the sea at a distance. The birds, multiple of birds, were singing choruses in all kinds of voices, much more than the human range. The trees took on their own personalities, all sizes, shapes, vivid colors, shades, even movements I noticed were different and unique. Everything just seemed more beautiful in the deep, deep stillness. There was no need for conversation. I was at home with the stillness within myself. I was enjoying a profound relationship with the self. I was rediscovering myself and what good company I could be with myself. Not just because of my finite self, but because I took the time to commune with the Christ self in me. So I'm singing that song differently. Learning to love the self is the greatest love of all. Friends, I'm sure that all of us here have had similar experiences, not necessarily going aside by yourself physically, but there are times when we repeatedly go within to the silence. And I would hope and know that this is something that we would do on a regular basis, wherever we are, the silence is always within us, so we can go there. We don't necessarily have to physically go apart, although that was a wonderful experience for me. So much so, I forgot to tell you the best of all. I power walked with a 50-year-old man who is physically fit, a farmer. I power walked for 11 miles from Prairie to St. Anne's Bay and came back, right? I came back in, I think we did it in, I don't want to lie, but I think it's about 45 minutes. We left at 1:15 and came back on the hour. That's 45 minutes, yeah. And it was like something was walking me. I was walking. It was just absolutely rough. I haven't tried it since, but I will. And I outran him, by the way. I outwalked him, by the way, this gentleman. No, to know the self with which we individually connect that is the same self that we fall in love with ourselves. We know it's the same self in every other. And so the more we fall in love with ourselves and know, we don't even have to make an effort. That self, where we are falling in love with that self, we are actually meeting every other self in that same consciousness. And so things happen. Remember how we started? The radiance. The radiance. So there's a beautiful story that I was assured was factual, and I told that story in 2000, the year 2000. I couldn't believe that was 2000. That's 22 years ago, right? February, 22 years ago. And I thought that this is something I want to share again, because it really touched my heart, and if my voice breaks every now and again, you'll know why. It talks about a little girl who was sitting outside of a small church. This was in the USA. I think it was in Philadelphia, I'm not sure. And she was crying. And she had been turned away from going inside the church because she was told it was too crowded. But this little girl, when the pastor walked by and he saw her sobbing, he questioned her, "Why are you crying?" She said, "I can't go into the Sunday school because it is too full." So the pastor looked at her and he understood what was happening. She was shabby, she was unkempt, and he guessed the reason why she was not invited inside. But that little girl took no offense. She believed that what she was told, that she could not go in because it was full. So, what did the pastor do? He took her hand and he found a place for her in the Sunday school class. The child was so happy that they had found room for her. So she went to bed that night thinking of the children who had no place to worship Jesus. This was a church in Philadelphia. So some 2 years later, news got back that this child had died. Her parents called the kind-hearted pastor who had befriended their daughter to handle the final arrangements. As her body was being moved to be taken care of, a worn and crumpled red purse was found. It fell from her, which seemed to have been rummaged. It was so worn and tattered, it looked as if it was rummaged from a trash dump. Inside was found 57 cents. Remember, this was 1920 something. I didn't tell you that. And a note scribbled in childish handwriting which read, "This is to help build the little church to make it bigger so more children can go to Sunday school." For 2 years, she had saved for this offering of love. When the pastor tearfully read that note, he knew instantly what he would do. Carrying this note and the cracked red pocketbook to the pulpit, he told the story of the unselfish love and devotion. He challenged his deacons to get busy and raise enough money for a larger building. But the story does not end there. A newspaper learned of the story and published it. It was read by a wealthy realtor who offered them a parcel of land worth many thousands. When told that the church could not pay so much, he offered to sell it to the little church for 57 cents. Church members made large donations. Checks came from far and wide. Within 5 years, the little girl's gift had increased to $250,000, a huge sum for that time near the turn of the century. Her unselfish love had paid large dividends. And we are told to verify this, that there, when you go to Philadelphia, you're to look up Temple Baptist Church, which now has a seating capacity of 3,300. That was then in 2000 when I read the story. And also to visit Temple University, where thousands of students are educated. He says, have a look too at the Good Samaritan Hospital and at a Sunday school building which houses hundreds of beautiful children, built so that no child in the area will ever need to be left outside during Sunday school time. In one of the rooms of this building may be seen the picture of the sweet face of the little girl whose 57 cents, so sacrificially saved, made such a remarkable history. Alongside of it is a portrait of her kind pastor, Dr. Russell H. Conwell, author of the book, Acres of Diamond. Come, hide my face. Okay. This story is rich with lessons, but the one which stands out for me in today's sharing is how this little ragged dressed girl saw her worth beyond her station in life. Her love of self allowed her to be comfortable in any company, and the effect of her caring created a multiplier effect which spread to benefit millions. She accepted what was said, that there was no space. She didn't take it personally. Couldn't be, because she had such a strong sense of who she was. How truly rich was this young girl's love of self? What a legacy. What a life. What a lesson. No matter what our circumstances in life may be, no matter what we may need to overcome, we are valuable and valued. We always have something important to contribute if we will let it happen. People who have learned to love the self are rarely unhappy because they don't take disappointment personally as some sort of irreconcilable flaw in themselves, but they take it as an experience to grow from. Happiness is a mindset as well as a state of being. Dr. Frank Richelieu again suggests that we prime ourselves to deal with the issues of life by affirming in this way: I choose to see the beauty of life. I allow this beauty to occupy my consciousness. Life is a wonderful opportunity for growth. I do not magnify pain or disappointment. I learn from them and move on to greater expressions of growth. It's a bit long, but I think it's worth our affirming, so I'm going to read it line by line. I choose to see the beauty of life. See the beauty of life. I allow this beauty to occupy my consciousness. I allow this beauty to occupy my consciousness. Life is a wonderful opportunity for growth. Life is a wonderful opportunity for growth. I do not magnify pain or disappointment. I do not magnify pain or disappointment. I learn from them and move on to greater expressions of growth. So, friends, we will continue to take every opportunity to remind ourselves of the beauty of the Christ present within us, so that as the Master Jesus did, we may grow and wax strong in spirit, full of wisdom and the grace of God, and in so doing fulfill our true purpose for being. As an old Chinese proverb says, if there is light in the soul, there will be beauty in the person. If there is beauty in the person, there will be harmony in the house. If there is harmony in the house, there is order in the nation. If there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. Let us do our part. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Sonia, for reminding us to grow in our relationship with that presence in us, which is the presence of love, and that learning to love the self is the greatest gift of all. Our musical item this morning will be an expression of love from our dear Rhonda.
Good morning. I'm going to dedicate this song to my aunt, Reverend Elma Lumsden, whose birthday would have been, is in heaven, January 26th. So thank you for the opportunity. God and God alone created all these things we call our own. From the mighty to the small, the glory in them all is God's and God's alone. God and God alone reveals the truth of all we call unknown. And all the best and worst of man can't change the Master's plan. It's God's and God's alone. God and God alone is fit to take the universe's throne. Let everything that lives reserve its truest praise for God joy of our eternal home. He will be our one desire. Our hearts will never tire of God and God alone. God and God alone is fit to take our universe's throne. Let everything that lives reserve its truest praise for God and God alone. God and God alone is fit to take our universe's throne. Let everything that lives reserve its truest praise for God and God alone. Let everything that lives reserve its truest praise for God and God alone.
The universe is scintillating with that. And your auntie and my beloved teacher is smiling at her favorite rendition from her beloved niece. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, thank you, thank you. Whew, where are we now? Where are we now? Okay, prayer. What a wonderful energy to take into our prayer of Jamaica. So please stand for the prayer of Jamaica. Oh, and we will just take that same energy into our hearts. Prayer of Jamaica. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. And now we're going to sing a song that we have not sung for a while, and we're going to sing it joyfully. It's found on page 3, Over the Mountain.
God is the life that lives through me, living a life that I can be. I know the life that lives through me, lives through the world I love. Over the mountain is the light that shines through me, showing the way that I can be. I know the light that shines through me shines in the world I love. Over the mountain, over the sea, God is a light that shines through me, showing the way that I can be, lighting the way of love. God is the joy that sings through me, lifting the load so I can be filled with the joy of Christ in me, knowing the power of love. Over the mountain, over the sea, God is a joy that sings through me, lifting the load so I can be filled with the power of love. I am the life of God in me. I am the light eternally. I am the truth forever free. I am the joy of love. Over the mountain, over the sea, I know the light of love in me. I know the truth that sets me free. God is the joy I know.
So, friends, before we go, we will be blessing our love offerings. If you are on the internet, all you have to do is look, the love offering blessing is there. And you can just, if you don't have an envelope, which you may not have, just put your hands on your heart and know that that love, which is God, is the giver to you and through you. And so we will affirm together. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father, and so it is. And as we go from here, we remember the one power and the one presence, the living Spirit Almighty, who has chosen in its love to express itself as our unique self, and to recognize that that self is forever beckoning to us in the stillness, in the quiet of our own souls. Be still and know that I am, which is God. I know for sure that each one of us is expressing that unique beauty, feeling that warmth within ourselves, and projecting the radiance of that to attract unto ourselves after its own kind. Experiences which warm our hearts, which lift, which uplift, which inspire, which brings expected and unexpected joyous wonders to us. I know that we walk upright, strong, certain, and assured that that which we call ourself is the one self living itself through us. We accept our responsibility, our authority, our privilege. We are messengers of the one power, and we are grateful that it is so. And so it is. So it is. So what? Yes, there is love. Yes, yes.
Yes, there is love on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is love on earth, that love that was meant to be. With God as our power, family all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony.
it was wonderful to be here with you, and we'll just continue the wonder as we remember that tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., Reverend John Scott will be there sharing in his garden, and again on Wednesday, he will be there too. Remember too that on Tuesday, we will be having also at 6, we will be having our own Jennifer Livingston sharing with you our healing service. And close to my heart too, I will not allow you to forget that on Thursday at 6, we have prayer power. And next week, Sunday, same time, same place. Bring your love, bring your heart. Namaste.